Okay. Good afternoon. So I'm from EASELTV, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about what we think is important about publishing applications to connected TVs. We're basically a software company, and we make it easy for people to publish apps to multiple connected TV platforms. And our platform focuses on the delivery of a high-quality, relevant, and largely video-centric experience to the TV, because we believe that video is critical for a good quality TV experience. So we have a set of reusable software components that allow us to go from one platform to another, from one client to another. We get a lot of reuse from one application to another. So we work for a wide variety of different clients, from broadcasters to content producers to pay TV platforms, people that are looking to build a relevant content experience on these platforms. So I think it's important to look at the history of interactive TV and connected TV in general. If you look at where we've come from, 10, 12 years ago, we started building banking applications on the TV. People didn't use them. A few years later, we've deployed IPTV platforms. We've put email and things onto those platforms, and people didn't use them. And now we can put a search box onto a TV. Do you think people are going to use that? I think the really important thing to understand, and this is what I mean about this bee here, this bee keeps hitting the window, is what do people use TV for? What is the TV experience? What makes TV special? What makes it different from the web or from mobile? And it's the lean back experience, the relaxation. And so what we suggest is that what a lot of people are doing is to put websites onto the TV. We say, no, don't do that. Put television onto the TV. So I'm going to go through a quick case study. This is All3Media, the UK's largest independent content producer. They had a series of objectives with their project with us, which was to experiment in building business-to-consumer relationships. And what they really wanted to do was to understand what it meant to have a customer for the first time. They had broadcasters as clients that commissioned their content, but they didn't have customers. They've never had customers. They wanted to build that relationship and test how consumers would respond. So the application that we've built is fundamentally a television experience. It's there on the Samsung and LG platforms to start with, and others will follow. It is essentially a TV channel made out of on-demand content, 250 hours of that to start with. Quite an important thing about this is that if you do nothing in this application, you will still get an experience. So this is the user journey on a Samsung TV. You start in the App Store, you run the app, and you go straight into a full-screen video experience. You don't have to navigate, you don't have to do anything. We start with a bit of branding. We go straight into a showreel.
Come to Tanner World. Stand by.
And after the first 5 times that you've run the app, we get rid of the showreel because we guess that you've seen the content that's coming. So the idea is that it feels like a TV channel. It's not demanding user interaction. It's there, and it will give you a linear style experience, but it will also allow you to interact to find content if you want to do that. So the idea is that you come into the app, you get a series of preview clips, and each clip comes from one of the whole programs that we have in the.
I ain't got no chat-up lines. Can you give me one?
In the app.
I don't tend to need them, to be honest. But
so we use the content to promote the content. So in this case, we've got a clip out of The Only Way is Essex, and we're showing about 30 seconds of that.
Sit down, pretend I'm her. What are you going to say?
And then we allow people to skip onto the next thing if they don't like that one, or they can call up a menu to navigate to other content. But it's all about making it feel like it's television. So there's a lot of interactivity built into this app that allows people to find things if they want to, but by default, they can just sit back and watch. So we've now gone onto the next clip. So I'm going to cut that short as we are running a little short on time. I hope. So just to conclude on All3Media, it's a TV, not a PC, and therefore we should deliver something that feels more like a TV channel, and monetizing a TV experience is easier if it's a relevant experience. Next example is, this is an app we built on the Virgin Media TiVo platform in the UK, and it was for HTC as part of the launch of their HTC One phone. This ran, it's just coming towards the end of the first 3 months of operation, and the idea was to be a part of the launch of the phone. So in this case, we haven't got time to run 2 videos, so I'm just using some screenshots. But if you imagine a similar type of experience to the previous video, you'll be about there. So this was run from the discovery bar on the TiVo platform, which is an interactive menu at the top of the EPG. And that's been very successful at driving an audience to watch what is effectively the HTC One channel. So we've got a range of content within this application. We start with a loading screen. We go straight into full screen video. I'm sure you may have seen the campaign. In the first phase of the campaign is based around a skydiving photo shoot using the HTC One phone to shoot the footage. So there's obviously we have the commercial, but we also have a 5-minute documentary about the making of that commercial, and a series of other footage that is about the phones themselves. So we have an interactive menu that allows you to go and find the content. This is what we call the featured playlist. This is the order of content you will get if you just do nothing, but you can also navigate through that. You can go up in the menu and you can get other information about the products as well. So with this campaign, we got the most amazing response in that we had some targets that were set for the 3 months of the campaign, and we exceeded those targets in the first week. I'm not allowed to share what those numbers are just yet. We're working on a press release on that with Virgin Media and with HTC. In this case, we got the app live because it's based on a very reusable set of templates. We got the app live within 4 weeks of the project kickoff, including the QA process, which is typically about 2 weeks on the Virgin Media platform. So it's a highly data-driven approach. We're just about to refresh all of the content with the next phase of the campaign, and we can do that without any change to the application source code whatsoever. So what we're doing here is providing a toolkit of software components that allow you to create television experiences, assembling an experience out of a collection of video and making that interactive to allow consumers to explore it. The dwell time on this application was about 18 minutes in the first couple of months of this, which is quite fantastic for a branded experience that is taking people away from the core value of the television platform. So that's it from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks very much, Bill. Just want to ask you a quick question. I have like 200 apps on my iPhone. I probably have another 50 on my Android device. What's really gonna, like, who's gonna curate these apps? Like, there's only so many I can have, and there's probably about, realistically, 7 or 8 that I use on a regular basis. How do you get people to use your apps and not, like, lose interest when they don't do everything?
Well, I guess, I mean, there's some things that you do inside the app, and that's all around creating a relevant experience. So that if when you come back to an app, it gives you something new, something relevant, something that's different to what you had the last time. And so understanding what people did the last time is important with that. If you can make that experience relevant, then that's a really important thing in getting people to come back. If you can make it feel like television, we think that's really important in getting people to come back. Outside the app, you've obviously got to do all of the traditional things about promoting the app, about publishing metadata into the search engines of these platforms. So, for example, on the TiVo platform and on the Samsung platform, they both have search engines that will accept metadata, so you can deep link into the app. That's an important part of it. As we move forward, these platforms evolve. We'll get red button style interactivity from broadcast programming, which will drive the audience in there. Right. And then, of course, you need to retain that audience by giving them a relevant experience. So it's all of the things that have traditionally worked on television. You need to translate them into this connected and on-demand world, but it's the same kind it's the same skill, the same broadcasters, commissioners, and schedulers that are working out, right, well, in this time slot we think we have this audience and we think this will be of interest to them. It's translating that skill into an on-demand world where it's not about time slots anymore, but it's about still about targeting an audience, giving them a relevant experience, and getting them to come back.
Last question, it's a technical one. There was a recent study that came out showing that many of the apps that are created for Android are battery and power suckers. Basically, they're powering down our batteries. The same was found for ISO devices. What are you guys doing on that side to optimize to make sure that your app doesn't take over my battery, which seems to be the main problem? Is it something you're looking into? Is it?
So far, we aren't targeting battery-driven connected TVs, but I mean, they use resources in a different way, and obviously, as you put faster processors in these TVs, then they do use up more power. I mean, we obviously deliver to.
Are some of your apps moving over to mobile as well?
Yes, they are. Yeah. And obviously, the quality of a video playback experience is really important. And if you try to compromise that, like dim the screen down, that's one of the prime drivers of the of battery usage. If you dim the screen down, then it's a less enjoyable experience. And so you can obviously the consumer has control of those things, but it's do you do that by default? Well, probably not.
So in the end, my TV is going to be much like my Android and iPhone devices. It's going to be full of apps, and we're going to have to find a way to just overcome dealing with the fact I'm going to have 500 apps.
Yeah, there will be. I mean, you've already got a lot of apps on some of these platforms,
Yeah.
and some of them are what we call craps. They're crap apps,
Right.
and they're not adding any value to the platform or to anybody that might run them, and they're devaluing the whole thing, actually, in some cases. But it's important to allow these things on there to be open and to
See, I just want something that after 30 days, if I haven't used the app, after 90 days if I haven't used the app, it just deletes it. But there's no app for this yet. I'm going to make it and make a million. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Bill.